Hello and welcome to another yoga video. This will be a 55-minute flow with a 6-minute shavasana at the end. Let's meet in a cross-legged position on the floor. Bring your attention to the present moment. Envision in your mind's eye where you are at in this room, where you're at in this world. Imagine how connected everything is to one another. You can lengthen the breath. Your gaze is soft, and your focus is clear. Ground yourself here before we begin. Let's start with neck rolls, bringing the head to either shoulder and then through center, chin to chest, back and forth. Switch directions, changing which ear you start with and which ear you end with. One more time. We'll meet with the head in center. Inhale, the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands in front of you. Inhale, bring them up above you. Exhale them down, touch the mat. Inhale them up. You can have the pointer finger and thumb released. Allow the spine to over-exaggerate when you bring your arms above you, bending it forward. Hand rounding when you bring the hands down. Just work back and forth here at your own pace, your own rhythm of breath. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling them to point down. Pause with the hands above you. Side bend to the left, keeping both sit bones on the ground. Inhale up. Exhale over to the right. Inhale up, back to center. Arms come down and behind you, fingertips face behind you. Open the chest. Bring the hands in front of you, elbows to the ground, around the back. Center yourself. Pause here. Roll up the spine. Feet come in front of you. Bend in the knees. Arms lengthen in front of you. Bring the right knee to the right elbow. Place it down. Lift the left. Place it down. Lift the right. Then left, back and forth. Lean back. Bring the right shin parallel to the floor and lower. Left shin parallel to the floor and lower. Again, back and forth. Maybe you lift both feet. Option to lift the arms above you in line with the ears. Exhaling them back in line with the shins. Inhale them up. And exhale them in line with the legs. Back and forth, warming up. Another option is to come to a low boat. Lower back touches the floor, reach the arms in line with the ears. Inhale up, back to the starting position. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. You have the option when you come back to the starting position to straighten your legs. Straighten the legs, shins parallel, low boat. Inhale up, legs straighten, low boat, straighten, low boat. Inhale up, legs straighten, exhale, low boat. As many repetitions as you'd like. Feet come to the floor, hands come behind you, fingertips face the back. Inhale and exhale, lift the hips. Lift them as high as is comfortable for you. You can alternate lifting each heel back and forth, flexing into the foot, back and forth. Hips come down, fingertips face the back wall, open the chest, look up. Back to center, legs out long in front of you. We inhale and exhale, fold forward. Arms reach long in front of you. Meet this pose. Notice how you feel in this moment. Taking time to enjoy the postures that we move through. Roll up the spine to seated. Bring the left leg in towards the chest. We're going to practice our pistol squats, so you can use your hands to the ground or reach them long in front of you. Rocking up onto the left foot and then coming down. As many repetitions as you'd like. This is just practice. Keep your gaze forward. Switch legs. Again, you can use the hands on the ground or reaching the arms forward. Use them to lift you up and lower you down. Practicing our pistol squat. Compression in the right hip. We come down, feet come mat width distance apart, they face out. Elbows to the knees, palms touch. Let the hips open. Cross the legs, come forward, let the hips drop. Feet are still crossed. Hips back down, switch the cross of your feet. Roll forward onto the knees, let the hips drop. Look forward. And come back on your mat to your tabletop position. Tops of the toes on the ground. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, round, look to the legs. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, round, look to the thighs. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, round. Back to our neutral spine. Walk the hands in front of you past the shoulders and then back under the shoulders. Back and forth, spreading into the fingertips. Back and forth. You have the option to do this on the knees or in a plank. Hollowing our tabletop or plank here. Practicing this movement and stability in the arms. Couple more times. Hands underneath the shoulders, drop the hips, look forward. Exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. You can have a bend in the knees. First down dog, meet this pose. Lift the right leg, point the toes up. Bend the knee to open the hip. And foot comes down, left leg lifts. Allow the knee to bend. And we lower. Pause. Roll forward to your plank, then drop the hips. Moving from the hips, roll them back to down dog. Making a wave in the body back and forth from plank to upward dog, back to down dog. Connect to your breath. Inhale forward. Exhale, send the hips back. Bring the knees down. Toes are tucked. Sitting on the toes. Roll out the wrists. I like to squeeze the wrists with the other hand, but you can also make circles with fists. Interlace the fingers, maybe make a wave motion with the hands, and come back forward to our tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift the right leg, point the toes, reach the left arm forward. Maybe you grab hold of the foot, bending at the knee. Look forward. Option to press into the left toes and lift yourself to a two-legged dog. Spread into the right fingertips. And we lower the left knee down, reach the arm and leg long, and back to our tabletop. Lift your left leg, right arm lifts as well. Bend into the left knee, maybe reach for the foot, and pressing into the right foot. Bring your hips back to your two-legged dog. It's all just practice. Keep your gaze soft, your face muscles soft. And lower the right knee down. Lengthen both the leg and arm. And back to tabletop, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, round to cat pose. Plank, push into the hands. Bend the elbows 90 degrees in line with the torso. Lift to upward dog, look up, and exhale, downward dog, hips are back. Look forward, step or walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, roll up the spine, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, hips are in line with the arms. Inhale, look up, bend the belly forward. Exhale, bend the knees to chair. Back and forth. Squatting into chair pose. Inhaling up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, look up. Maybe the belly comes forward. Exhale, chair. Option in your chair pose to bring your hips towards the ground. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. Option to lower the hips towards the ankles. Chair pose. Back to standing. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Bend the knees, chair. Lower the hips towards the ankles, chair and Tadasana. Chair, lower the hips, hands come to the ground, forward fold, exhale. Option to grab opposite elbow, letting the upper body hang. You can also reach the hands behind you, pull on the mat to bring yourself closer to your legs. And we roll up to a halfway lift. Reach the arms forward, bend the elbows cactus, and then bring the hands in line with the hips. Inhale, arms in line with the ears, bend the elbows cactus, and then hands towards the hips. Making almost a circle in the air. Inhale, arms forward, and we reach up, straighten the legs, option to back bend, and lower hands to the ground. Vinyasa, I'm going to take a crow pose, bringing the knees to the backs of the elbows, lifting my left leg and stepping back. Inhale, upward dog, exhale, down dog. Look forward, bend the knees, jump forward. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, roll up the spine. Inhale, hands touch. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor. Knees can come to the backs of the arms. This time, lifting my right leg. Toes step back, bend the elbows 90 degrees. Chaturanga, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right foot. Three-legged dog. And bend the knee in. Step to your low lunge. Inhale up to high lunge. Allow your left heel to come to the ground. Warrior 2, look forward. Right toes face same direction as the left. Then we bend into the left leg. Virabhadrasana 2. Turn onto the right toes, high lunge. Right heel comes down, warrior 2. Left toes in line with the right. Warrior 2 with the right leg. High lunge, turn onto the left toes. Back to your warrior 2. Toes in line. Bend into the left leg, warrior 2. High lunge, turn onto the toes. Back to your warrior 2, toes face same direction, bend into your right leg, warrior 2, high lunge turning on to the left toes, and hands come down. Allow your right leg to straighten, nose towards the knee. You can lift the right foot. Bend back to your low lunge, step forward to a standing split. Your left leg is lifted. Option to bring the hands to the foot. Maybe they come in line with the hips, reaching them back. Find your balance. And hands come down. Option to practice your handstand. Kicking the left leg back. Right leg stays forward to maintain control. Standing split. Left toes step back, low lunge. Inhale up, high lunge. Left heel to the ground, warrior 2. Toes in line. Bend into the left leg, warrior 2. High lunge, turn onto the right toes. Hands come down. And allow your left leg to straighten. You can lift the left toes off the mat, nose towards the knee. Bend into the front leg, standing split. Right leg lifts. Option to bring the hands to the foot or in line with the hips. Practicing here. And hands come down. Option to Practice your handstand kicks. It's all a part of the process. Even if you lift your toes an inch off the ground, it's all practice. And we come back to our low lunge. Inhale up, high lunge. Right heel comes down, warrior two. Toes come in line. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, wide-legged forward fold. Find your hand placement, whatever best supports you. I like my hands under the shoulders. Straighten the arms. Bring the left hand behind the left foot. Then switch, right hand behind the right foot. Left hand back behind the left foot. Option to face the left toes toward the back of the mat. Find the bind in the bent leg. Hands touch behind your back. You can also straighten the left leg. Bend back into the left leg. Hands come to the ground. Switch sides. Right hand behind the right foot. Face the right toes forward. Bind the hands behind the back. And option to straighten. Bend into the leg. Hands come down. We're back to our low lunge. Step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hips, look forward. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, drop the hips, look forward. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward, hips drop. Knees come to the floor and legs lift. Option to windshield wiper your feet back and forth to either side of the mat. Shoulders are strong. Send the hips back to a child's pose, sitting on the heels. Arms are long. Find your focus. Pause. Look forward. Back to our tabletop, toes tuck. Lift to plank. Lift your right leg. Toes point. Option to come onto the left fingertips and lift the left arm. Right knee to left elbow. Turn onto the left heel. Swing the right foot in front of you. Knee and elbow touch. And back to our lifted plank. Hand and foot lower to the ground. Lift the left foot. Option to lift the right arm. Bend the elbow and knee. They touch. Right heel comes down. Left foot in front of you. Knee and elbow touch. Back to our plank position. Arm and leg lengthen. And they lower. Lift your right leg, toes point. Left arm lifts. Knee and elbow to touch. Left heel comes down. Left arm is high. Right foot is flexed. Allow the hips to drop, flexing the feet towards the ceiling. We sit down. Straddle position. Option to fold forward, walking the arms in front of you. Meet this pose. Your attention is strong. Back up to seated. Option to side bend to the right, grabbing hold of the foot with the hands or hands to shin. Inhale up through center and exhale to the other side. Inhale up to center, hands come behind you, press into the heels, lift the hips. All optional. Hips back down, hand comes to the hip. We return to our starting position with the right leg in front of us. Back to our three-legged plank, right knee to elbow, and right leg long behind us, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, and we set the foot down. Inhale forward to plank, lift your left foot, right arm lifts, knee towards the elbow, left leg comes through and right heel comes down, right arm is lifted, and we lower the hips to the ground, straddle, inhale tall, exhale hands come forward, fold, we get to come to this pose again. Maybe it feels different this second time. Pausing. Roll up the spine, inhale, and exhale, side bend to the right. Maybe your arms reach a little closer to the foot. Inhale up and exhale to the other side. Inhale up, palms plant behind you. Lift the hips, toes point out. Hips lower. Left hand plants at the hip, lift the hips. Left leg in front of you. Back to our plank, knee to elbow. And exhale, three-legged dog, left leg long behind you. Bend the knee. And foot comes down, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, roll forward to plank. Bend the knees and then straighten the legs back to down dog. Bend the knees, roll to plank. Exhale, bend the knees, hips back, down dog. Inhale, knees bend, roll forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Look forward, step or walk to the front of your mat. Feet are mat width distance apart, toes face out for Malasana. Hips are low, elbows press into the knees. And we straighten the legs, toes face forward, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, roll up, arms touch. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Toes point out, bend the knees, squatted position here, arms long in line with the shoulders. Option to practice your half moon on the left side. Bend into the left knee, let your torso come in line with the hip, right foot points long. Hands are in line, back to center, squat. And we go for the right side, allowing the left toes to lift, heel, hips, and shoulders. One line. Fingertips are reaching. Back to center, squat, and we can lower the hips to a wide-legged Malasana. Lifting and lowering. Inhale up, exhale, hips lower, lifting and lowering, staying in a squat. Hands are pressing into one another. Back and forth. Hold in the squat, Toes face forward, straighten the legs, neck rolls, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, back and forth. Let this feel good. Hands interlaced behind you, open the chest, look up. And bend into the knees, forward fold, exhale. Hands can still be interlaced here. Hands plant. Option for crow pose, knees to the backs of the arms. Lift the toes to touch. You can also keep them on the ground for practice. Option when you're in your crow to lift the heels towards the glutes, a little closer, and then back to their original starting place, lifting and lowering them closer to the glutes. Just practice our control. Step the legs back to your plank, optional vinyasa. Meeting in our down dog, hips are back. Right leg lifts. Option to lift the left hand in line with the hip. Focus on your gaze and your breath. Hand comes down, foot comes down, left leg lifts. Option to lift the right arm in line with the hip. Balancing here. Hand and foot lower in our down dog. Bend the knees, lower them to the ground, let the hips drop and look forward. Untuck the toes, send the hips back to a wide-legged child's pose. Bringing ourselves to a moment of reflection. Elbows come to the ground, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Inhale, left leg lifts. Option to come onto the right heel or right heel lifts off the ground. Practicing our pincha. Forearms are pressing into the ground to give us stability. Reaching the toes long. I like to practice this with the legs split. It's all optional. With the legs split, the left leg long, maybe you start to bring your right foot towards the head. Move your gaze to between the hands. When you're done practicing, feet come to the ground. Hips come to the heels, toes are tucked, roll out the wrists. Giving ourselves a moment before we move on. And elbows back to the ground, lift the hips. Now we lift the right leg, practicing our left heel lifts. Maybe the foot leaves the ground. The legs are split. Maybe you start to bring the right foot towards the head as you're moving, shifting the gaze. It's all practice. If you could see me, I was pretty wobbly, but it's all a part of the process. Toes are tucked, sit the hips back on the heels. Roll out the wrists, maybe making a circle around you. Pause. Hands come back down. Bring the knees together, the heels hip-width distance apart. Maybe you sit the hips between the feet. You can lower to the elbows, maybe to the back. Pausing at your edge. Letting this be your practice, your time. Gaze is soft. Maybe the hands touch the heels. Maybe they're to the floor. Elbows move to the floor. Help yourself up. Bring your right leg forward in between the hands. Bending and straightening into the front leg. Practicing your splits. You can bring the right leg forward. You can have the left toes tucked. I like to bring my nose to my knee. Another moment of pause. Bring the spine back up. Right foot back, tabletop, and we step our left foot forward. Bending and straightening into the front leg, back and forth. You can stay here or bring your left foot forward for a split. Meet this shape. You can also bring nose to knee, folding forward. Turn your focus inward. Give yourself grace, support. Bring the chest up. Right leg swings next to the left. Knees bend, palms of the feet touch. Maybe you hold onto the toes, sit up tall. Shoulders are away from the ears. Keeping this position with the legs, option to reach your arms forward and roll back, low back touches the floor. Inhale, arms in line with the ears. Exhale, reach them forward between the knees, crunch. Inhale up, exhale, crunch. Inhale, arms reach in line with the ears. Exhale, hands come between the knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, arms in line with the ears. Exhale, crunch. Palms of the feet to the floor. Help yourself up by reaching the hands forward or bringing them to the mat. Arms are reaching long. Reach the right arm behind you, left arm above you. Arms come forward and to the other side. You can find a bend in the elbow for support. Back to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale over to the left. Legs are long. Inhale, exhale, fold. Come back up. Spine is tall. Right hand comes to the ground. Left arm up and over. Inhale up. Over to the left. Inhale up. Right hand comes behind you, press into the hand, turn the toes to the right. Side plank, lifting the hips. Come down to the other side. Left arm behind you, press into the palm, toes face to the left. Right arm up and over. Hips down. Bend the knees, palms of the feet touch. Sit tall. Inhale and exhale, fold. Bring the hands to the ground. Chin comes closer to the chest. Pause. Inhale up. Spine is tall. Hands move behind you. They face the back. Open the chest. Option to press into the sides of the feet and lift the hips. And bring the palms of the feet to the floor. Knees touch. Maybe you lift the heels. Feet go out long in front of you for a reverse plank. Hips come down. Exhale, fold. Forearms to the ground or arms reached out in front of you. Roll back up to seated. Flex the feet, then point. Flex and point. Toes changing from facing the ceiling to pointing forward. Grab hold of the right leg, bend the right knee. Roll back onto your lower back. Option to straighten the right leg, holding onto the leg either at the thigh or the calf, maybe the ankle. Bend the right leg, use it to help you up. Grab hold of the left, roll to your back. Maybe you straighten the left leg. Stretching here. Bend the leg, use it to help you up. Maybe you grab the backs of the legs, both of them now, rolling to the back. Point the toes, straighten the legs. Maybe you grab hold of the heels. Allow your head to come to the floor. Bend the knees, toes point out, happy baby. Thighs are towards the ribs. Point the toes, maybe you straighten the legs. For straight leg, happy baby. And bend the knees. Back to our happy baby. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Straighten the legs in front of you, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Grab a hold of the knee. Option to reach the arms long in line with the shoulders. Bring the right knee over to the left side of the mat. You can also have the legs straight. Both shoulders touching the ground in this position. Bring the knee back to the chest and switch sides. Left knee bends towards you. Arms reach into a T. Bring the knee towards the right side of the mat. You also have the option of grabbing hold of the foot and straightening the leg. All optional. Finding which pose suits you best. Knee back in towards the chest, legs long, ankles above the hips. Point and flex the toes back and forth here, allowing your lower back to press into the ground. Imagine there's a straight line from your hips to your ankles. Adjust if needed. Feet come down, tuck the toes, toenails to the mat. Maybe you press into the mat, lifting the hips, or just keeping the hips on the ground, stretching the tops of the feet. Palms of the feet to the ground now, knees are bent. Bring the feet to touch, open the knees, bound angle pose. You can press the lower back into the mat, or you can allow it to lift, whatever feels more comfortable. You can also have blocks under the knees. Bring the knees into the chest, lift the head. With the head lifted, maybe you use the hands to make circles with the knees, bringing them out wide and then back into touch, back and forth, letting this feel good. You can also just stay holding in a ball pose. Head lowers to the ground. Continue with the circles, the knees. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. Bring the feet above the hips. Maybe use the strength of the hands on the ground to bring the feet behind your head. Neck is unmoving. Hands can come to the lower back, wherever you feel most supported. Maybe you split the legs, lifting the right foot. Using the stability of the left toes on the ground. Foot comes down, lift the left leg. Shoulders supporting you. You can also have both feet up if you'd like to practice your shoulder stand. Tops of the feet can come to the ground. Bring the hands to the hips. Maybe you lower the hips towards the ground so you can hold them in your hands. Option to move the knees towards the ears. And lower the hips down. Palms of the feet mat width distance apart. Let the knees fall towards one another. Arms to a T in line with the shoulders. Drop the knees over to the left. Back through center and over to the right. Back through center, over to the left, and over to the right. Bring the knees in, head lifts, and we release into an X on the ground. Toes point out, hands soften, face relaxes, bringing your practice to a close, acknowledging what has come before, what may come after, and letting it go. Let yourself watch your thoughts, but not attached to them. Release your body and your mind for this moment of pause. Give yourself this time as a gift. I will let you know when we move forward. In your own time, bend your knees. Come to rest your head on your bicep. Press yourself up to seated. Bring your hands to touch and your gaze remains soft. Be thankful for the practice and yourself for showing up. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.